Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. Yes, it's September, but it's still summer, which means it's still...
The Summer of Sylvester Stallone!
Right. And this week we're finally tackling a big request I've had ever since this summer started. Tango and Cash. Well, if I can't do Cliffhanger, at least I can do this. Tango and Cash is a buddy cop action movie from 1989. Stallone stars as police superstar Raymond Tango, professional with a capital bank account. However, his buddy, or more aptly rival, is Gabriel Cash, a much lower wage cop whose rougher demeanor matches his rougher tactics, played by Kurt Russel. Which sounds pretty fucking awesome. But then again, so did Assassins. But the story is a lot more straightforward this time around. As Tango and Cash are the best cops on the force, the ever-sinister bad guy of the city wants them gone, and an elaborate ruse lands the two of them in a federal pound-me-in-the-ass prison. Now the two rival cops must work together to solve the mystery surrounding their own case and clear their names in an 80s action movie explosion extravaganza. I think I can already see why it was so highly requested. Anyway, let's take a look at Tango and Cash and see if it really is as fucking awesome as it already sounds. The movie opens up to a chase scene, where a truck aims to escape Tango's pursuit while they're distracted by the officers arguing over who gets to arrest the bad guys and the kick-ass soundtrack. You ever hear some music and suddenly fall in love with a movie's soundtrack? Oh yeah, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Anyway, it's some fucking awesome tunes.
We're out of our jurisdiction, Tango. County Sheriff and CHP are on the way.
Yeah, but it's an 80s action movie. Barely the last movie released in the 80s. And the point is, jurisdiction schmurs diction. Therefore, Tango drives ahead with a plan to arrest the bad guys by shooting at them. Tango, those rounds are perfectly fine. The gun was already loaded. You didn't need to reload it. Doing that can also damage your frame and fuck up your revolver. Might not really be a goof, though, because Tango can easily afford more guns. His plan is to shoot at the truck, miss the driver and passenger, and hope that they don't realize their truck can easily just plow through him and his car no problem. And that strangely works. Well, no one ever accused these two of being good at their job.
Fuck you. I prefer blondes.
You don't understand. I am blonde. Get over here. There's a pretty big problem, though.
Federal highway and we're out of our jurisdiction. That's true.
No, not that. Just because in reality the bad guys could easily have this case thrown out of court over just that, that's no reason to be concerned. Rather, Tango insists they're shipping drugs, but all the cops have found is gasoline. Likewise, the local police are not too happy with being called out to this.
I want your badge, I want your weapon, I want your ass. Who in the fuck do you think you are?
He thinks he's Rambo.
For good reason.
Rambo is a pussy.
Well, he would know. Either way, he solves his problems with gunfire, revealing the truth under everyone's noses.
Anybody want to get high?
In more ways than one. Establishing Tango's badassery, but who would just so happen by at the moment but our villain, crime lord Mr. Perret, wonderfully played by Jack Palance.
Tango and Cash, Cash and Tango. These two cops are driving me crazy. We have to do something about this.
I just love his character. He's just such an over-the-top Saturday fucking morning cartoon evil bad guy. But he's just so likable. He's like an evil Uncle Ben.
We will handle it.
Not that way. I have something else in mind.
I would invite them over tea. Poison tea. But sir, what if they don't drink it? You don't realize their manners will be their downfall. But they haven't actually introduced Gabriel Cash yet, so let's do that. Finding him in his apartment, played by Kurt Russel. Fuck, that was a short-lived role. Don't worry though, he has a gun in his pants, so he's fine, and the bad guy is on the run. It it tends to be safer to escape out of a window on the first floor. The power of the soundtrack manages to keep them alive, giving us a chase into the parking garage, where Cash takes the opportunity to find a homeless lady and destroy all her worldly belongings. As this doesn't slow the bad guys down, he moves on to taking other people's stuff. Drug sting, shootout, foot chase, and now a car chase? All this needs is gratuitous titties, and it is the perfect 80s action movie. Okay, fuck it! Perfect movie! Review over! Ah, what the hell, I can't stop watching this. And the bad guy has a plan. Block his pursuer with flashing lights. Unfortunately for him, Kurt Russel doesn't have epilepsy, so not really an obstacle, but he does have a spare hatchback. Officer, it wasn't my fault. The car darted out right in front of me. Establishing Cash's badassery, that being much rougher and less refined than Tango's, but effective nonetheless. We also established he lived because the man had a thing for Kevlar underwear. Funny, because safety is for pussies.
Hey, who's been fucking with my gun? Sights shifted on it.
Just how often does he do this? No one seems the least bit surprised that he's waving his gun around with his finger on the trigger. Not important. What is important is finding out why the Chinese gunman, played by Philip Tan, tried to kill him.
You don't know any English, huh? Well, I don't know much Chinese, so I guess we're gonna have to give you a crash course, buddy. Sit down. There we go. Who hired you to kill me?
I don't know. It was one of those damn cell tower missions. I was just following the waypoints, I swear. What is this?
English 101.
Come back in 20 minutes for physical education. The assassin says it was one of Kwan's men, but he's not sure which one. However, there's a deal going down tonight, and he's willing to give Cash the address. Funnily enough, this is around the same time a big break comes in a case that Tango is working on. There's an anonymous tip about a deal going down at the very same location.
I don't understand you. You make a shitload of money, you dress like a banker. What are you doing this for?
Action.
It's an action movie. No one wants to see a generic patrol officer. They want a fantastic character with a lot of style.
If you really want to stare death in the eye, you should have gotten married.
Is that a proposal?
Yes, actually. I love you, Tango. I always have. But something sinister is going down. You can tell, because I'm Jesse Ventura, and this is not conspiracy theory. There is no theorizing going on at all. This is just a good old-fashioned conspiracy.
Too much television can hurt your eyes.
And is exactly what I would expect to hear from a reptilian. It turns out the big break in the case, which very awkwardly gets Tango and Cash in one spot despite them not being entirely on the same page, was just an elaborate setup to frame them for murder.
Christ, that's my gun.
What's your gun doing?
So someone stole Cash's gun and used it for this setup, but how exactly are they going to pin this on both of them?
I'm making a mistake.
You're going down for this.
Because fuck evidence, we're corrupt and that's just how it's gonna be. Very quickly, the two of them are taken to trial in a good old-fashioned kangaroo court, with falsified evidence quote-unquote proving their guilt in the murder of an undercover federal officer.
You've listened to the tapes, and if you had to make a judgment regarding its authenticity,
I'd say that there's no reason for me to believe that it isn't genuine.
Remind me to rip Jumbo there's tongue out.
The witness may step down.
With the tow truck.
I could just imagine the stenographer in the corner jotting this down. Run over the genitalia with a steamroller and then pufferfish enema? Whatever. As the corrupt courts strangely are hell-bent on sending them off to prison, the two men come to the realization that the plea deal they've been offered may be the best chance to do the least amount of time for the crime they didn't commit.
18 months, Lompoc Federal Country Club. I think you'll love it. I understand they open the gym at 5 a.m. You can start pumping early.
We can maybe pump them together sometime. With oil. Two men, together, oil. The point of it all is they agree that while they were definitely set up, spending 18 months in minimum security beats the hell out of the 20-plus years in the pen, so they cop the deal, with Tango giving a moving, emotional statement to the court about the years of service to the justice system and trusting they will make the right choice. Something Cash doesn't exactly get behind.
This whole thing fucking sucks. I mean, this is the biggest pile of shit.
You mean to tell me Kurt Russell wasn't even nominated for an Oscar with that speech? With that, they are sentenced to 18 months, and evil Uncle Ben's plan is coming to fruition.
What happens in 18 months when they get out?
What makes you think they'll ever get out again?
Because they were only sentenced to 18 months. With good behavior, they could be out by this afternoon. Then again, their prison sentence is already looking quite different than what they plea bargained for.
I don't think there's a golf course here.
But can you still get pumping by 5 a.m.? Maybe, maybe not. The thing is, along with the ever-corrupt courts, they were transferred from the main bus to another and shipped off to a different prison that is slightly harsher than they were planning.
God damn it.
What?
Forgot to bring the marshmallows.
I mean, isn't the set not supposed to look like this until after Stallone leaves? Mother of coincidences, the criminal Tango took in during the opening, Face, played by Robert happens to be in this very prison.
If you need me, me and my ass will be in the neighborhood.
Okay, be real with me now. Is Tango actually hitting on people here? Trying to start new and interesting relationships may not be necessary, as that night the two of them are dragged out of bed, stuffed into laundry bags, and chucked down the chute to partake in the traditional action scene.
Oh, shit. That's the guy I followed to the setup.
I'm Jesse Ventura, and this is my new show, Police Brutality.
Taunty Tango. You're a pretty boy, aren't you?
Damn it, Breon, why'd you have to talk? I was having fun with that. Yeah, this is Breon James, who plays Perret's right-hand goon, Requin.
I don't want to get killed by this limey immigrant jerk-off! I want to get killed by an American jerk-off!
Kurt, Breon was born in California. Don't worry though, Face is here to threaten them more directly. This results in the worst laundry day ever caught on film before the guys are captured yet again. The plan is to kill them. These guys could do it any moment, but that would be far too easy. So instead, they toy with them, seeing how slowly they can kill them via electrocution. Before our protagonist can finish being beaten, battered, boiled, and bitten into, the bad guy's party is interrupted by a sudden appearance of not completely corrupt prison guards, led by Assistant Warden Matt Sikowski, played by Phil Rubenstein.
You know, if this creep wants us dead so bad, why doesn't he just put a bullet in our head and call it a day? I mean, what the hell's he got to play this game for?
Well, so far this movie has been a hell of a lot better than Bullet to the Head, so I can't really fault that strategy. Still, Matt is one of the only ones in this prison who isn't completely crooked, so the guys can't just walk out of here. However, he helps them plan a daring escape, heading out through the drainage pipes to freedom! But there's only one shot to get this right, so time is of the essence.
Negative. What? I'm not going to change my mind.
I like prison life. I've only been here about a day, and just about everyone has tried to kill me. I figure it can only improve from here. Yep, Tango doesn't trust the warden and refuses to go through with the plan, meaning that Cash is on his own, out in the rain where he can slip into the side, knock down one of the walls, and climb his way to freedom. Except, of course, there's some major problems that spring up.
Matt.
There he is!
Just how many dicks did this guy suck to be included in the search party looking for Tango and Cash? I mean, he's just a regular inmate, and he's taking point with the guards. Cash tries to run, but wouldn't you know it, they turn on the fans, blocking his escape, which means it's only a matter of time before the bad guys close in and kill him. But wait! That still doesn't explain how the hell you got out of your cell, out of the building, and down there without anyone noticing, but This saves Cash's ass and reunites the two, so they can quickly throw together Plan B and make their daring escape, reaching the roof before they slide down a power line over the fence to freedom. Well, one of them anyway. Yeah, while the guards are still running around everywhere trying to track these two men down, Face just pops up and grabs him like a slasher villain. How many keys does this man have? They also let him have a grappling hook, apparently. Jeez, I don't see what the problem was. Prisoners seem to have it pretty damn good in these walls. Now, well, the point is Tango gets free, Face gets fried, and then he can follow Cash just barely over the perimeter fence, where any and all searches for escaped prisoners cease.
If it gets too hot for you in the street, go to a club called Cleopatra's. That's for a girl named Catherine. She'll know where to find me, okay?
Got it.
Being a highly decorated officer, of course I talked at length with her about exactly what I would do in case I was framed for murder and had to escape from prison.
Hey, Ray.
I love you. I know. Cash doesn't seem to have much of a need to lay low, waltzing right into the LAPD R&D HQ to meet up with his friend Owen, played by Michael Pollard. He's sort of our mad gnomish tinkerer and is more than willing to provide Cash with clothes, guns, and well wishes. This means he is ready to impress when the expert sound technician finds him waiting at his desk.
Who hired you to do the tape, Skinner? Lucky for me, this place is soundproof.
You just walked right into a police building, took some guns, and left with their blessing. I really don't think that people would care too much even if they could hear the shotgun going off. It turns out the audio recording that helped get Tango and Cash convicted was in fact a clever edit, splicing together recorded conversations of the men, YouTube poop style.
How fortunate they asked you to authenticate your own work, huh?
I am the foremost expert.
Even more fortunate that every single high-ranking officer at every part of the justice system was corrupt as fuck. I don't see how finding evidence of your innocence is going to change that, but well, good luck with your plan. No bother, Cash brings new meaning to Sound Blaster in order to get the information as to who hired him and where they are. But there was that whole thing about finding Catherine at Cleopatra's, so you may as well go and get that out of the way too.
Is Catherine working tonight, though? Catherine?
Don't know any Catherine.
Ooh, a mystery lady. Who could it possibly be? There's a chance it's the insanely important looking one in the middle of the stage dancing in the metallic go-go outfit. Jeez, now every time I hear the song, all I'm gonna think about is disco mirror bikinis. I mean, that's a good thing, but still.
Okay, we'll be right out.
Looks, charm, and musical talent? Well, she still has her looks to fall back on. Problem is the place is swarming with cops, but the mysterious lady follows Cash to tell him something.
I'm Catherine.
She is the woman in question, played by Terry Hatcher. Also, she is somehow able to exit to backstage and materialize on the show floor to run back to the lobby and meet up with Cash, and then take him backstage that way. I really think she should find some way to actually incorporate this into her act. She knows Cash is a friend because only Tango calls her Catherine, but that's about all she knows.
Is he all right?
Convicted of manslaughter, 18 months in prison. Did you not hear about this? It was all over the news. But they must find some way to escape, secretly. Because surely nobody in this corrupt police force will frisk you now.
Any chance of a three-way? Bikes on bikes, eh, Cap?
Seriously though, cross-dressing just for a movie? Who would do such a thing? She brings Cash home with her, well before Tango makes it, so the chiropractic treatment she's giving the man looks a bit different in his eyes.
Deeper.
Oh my God, Gabe, I can feel it going in.
Oh, harder.
Oh, it's almost in.
It's all the way in.
There's someone staring in the window. Only I'm allowed to watch Catherine getting down and dirty with Cash. Tackling the peeping Tom, it turns out this was actually the not-corrupt chief of police. While he was smart enough to check Tango's house for the escaped men, strangely the city full of people who want him dead haven't thought of that.
By the way, your girlfriend.
My sister! My what? What? My sister.
She's your... Are you... That's great!
Sweet, now I can write that fanfic about Tango and Cash as brothers-in-law, and Mrs. Catherine Cash taking care of their little litter of troublemakers. This is all well and good, but the chief lets everyone know that his magical anti-investigation powers will only be effective for 24 hours, and in that time, they'll have to clear their names on their own. The tape clearing their name is a start, but just to be sure, they better track down and take out the guy who set him up in the first place. To that end, Owen provides them with a motherfucking Batmobile.
We'll take it.
No, you can't take that. That's one of a kind. That's a prototype.
Oh, and trust us, we won't put a scratch on him.
Right, so how long until... Did I mention I love this movie? And guess what? It turns out the bad guys' goons also just so happen to have big fucking trucks equipped with machine guns mounted on the hoods. Thus, after driving around the enemy fortress in a scene that I now believe was a serious inspiration for Twisted Metal, our heroes evacuate their personal tank for some construction equipment.
Why aren't you guys talking to me anymore? Come on, say something.
You will be missed, war utility vehicle. They are still able to smash through the walls and continue the climactic battle of ass-kickery, mowing down dozens of goons in the process, and helping themselves to the illegal shipment of tactical weapons.
Facility destruct sequence is now engaged.
Either this clock works backwards or somebody activated the bomb.
Yeah, I wonder who.
The fucking facility has a self-destruct sequence. Why is this movie so fucking cheesy and awesome? Well, maybe not everything is perfect. Magazine. Cash, you should know this. Wouldn't you know it, though? The bad guys kidnapped Catherine and brought her to the climax. Such evil. This means Tango and Cash have to disarm themselves. But don't worry, the villains now have to adhere to the other rule of action movies. If the heroes don't have a gun, that means you have to fight them in melee combat even if you have access to guns. This allows the two of them to get the upper hand and take everyone out. But then...
When the one great scorer comes to write against your name, he'll mark not that you won or lost, but how you played the game.
He has a room full of mirrors behind a secret sliding door right next to his office in this facility, equipped with a self-destruct sequence. Why is this movie so fucking awesome? This makes for the final test, where our heroes have to figure out which one is the real one and shoot his legs so as to take him alive.
My sights are out.
Mine too.
Yeah.
He died doing what he loved, being the most evil, cheesy Saturday morning cartoon villain there ever was. Look out, though, there's only 20 seconds before the whole place explodes, and they somehow managed to hoof it about half a mile away in that time. Damn. But this brings our story to a close with Catherine rescued, Cash being interested in dating her, Tango annoyed at Cash, and the two of them reinstated in the LAPD. I'm sure the whole murder thing was iffy, but killing dozens of people and blowing up an entire construction site, they more than earned that badge. Well, that was Tango and Cash, and I really failed at hiding just how much I fucking love this movie throughout the review. From start to finish, it's just a blast to watch. Stallone and Russell play well off each other, and the movie combines great performances and a decent budget with some seriously off-the-wall situations and campy characters that are so ridiculous they're brilliant. It's possible that Perret was my favorite character in the whole movie. Jack Palance gave a performance that was just so damn much fun to watch. The character was out-and-out evil and loved being evil. He didn't have a dark backstory or any kind of humanizing characteristics to help understand him. He was just a bad guy, and a glorious bad guy. You really have to hand it to Jack, because without that performance to sell the character, it could have very well been the weakest in the film. So far as the overreaching plot goes, Tango and Cash is a solid film. Things are set up logically and events lead to each other without having to stretch the imagination too much. I could go on about how a corrupt police force would logically work in certain situations, but when watching the movie, nothing feels wrong with how the pacing goes. Overall, the movie is a ton of fun for fans of action films, great for those who enjoy a more light-hearted take on the genre, but might not be for you if you want things ultra gritty and super serious. Nevertheless, I would say Tango and Cash easily comes in at 5 disco booby dances out of 5. If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you have seen it, watch it again. If you're watching it right now, well, you know what you're doing. Thank you all for watching. I've been Dr. Shado, and remember, with shiny enough boobies, no one will notice that you don't know how to use your instruments.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Relax. Soap. And don't flatter yourself.
Pee-wee.